our series on the classics. All right, so we are beginning with opera. Next will be Shakespeare, so you won't want to miss that next week. So what is classic opera? There's actually lots of modern opera, which I think people don't really think. When I think of opera, they think old school, dead guys wrote it. Well, dead guys did write a lot of great stuff, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Yay! Yay! One reason it's so great, besides just being beautiful music and great stories, is it's usually free, because it's public domain. So we talked about the business side, like how can you promote the classics? Are they even relevant? And I will say yes, I am currently learning a classic. This is a Mozart Don Giovanni score. In fact, I would say most of the operas I've been in have been classics. I've been in several modern ones, but classics, at least in the opera world, that's what people stick to, because if people see a Mozart opera, they're gonna come.
Yeah.
Or if they see Carmen, La Boheme by Puccini, those are big names. So that brings people.
People like something familiar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So certain classics have a reputation that people will come see. So say you have a small company or a couple friends, how can you use the classics to your advantage? My suggestions are, when I was running, I still run a concert series, just pull out excerpts, do them with friends, do it with piano. We'd all love full orchestra, however, that takes time and money. I will say my friend, Mary Beth Sater.
Yes. We'll link her stuff in here so you can see
Yes, she runs Undercroft Opera in Pittsburgh, and it started very small. It's a community opera. It doesn't pay its singers or its players, but she's built a wonderful thing where tons of people can perform. You will always sell tickets because it's people from the community, so everybody wants their family to come see them, even if they're in the chorus, and it's giving people opportunity. That's her thing, giving people opportunity. And they built a beautiful orchestra. The orchestra is fabulous, and it started with opera scenes with the piano in a church. So using the classics to your advantage is finding something in public domain, finding a group of friends, getting together, doing something with the piano.
Simple things are great. I mean, you look at a company or you look at someone and what they've done, and maybe you're seeing 10 years down the road, but you don't think about where they started from. And that's such a simple thing. You can start, and when you start with really great older pieces, you know that it's good.
Right, at least you're starting with something.
Starting with something good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would say classics and opera are definitely very relevant. One, because they've lasted this long, it means something's right.
Yes.
People want to see it for some reason. And if you really dig in, so this is what I want to talk about. So if you have friends that are going to come see you in a show, what the heck is opera?
Yes.
It's old, why does it matter? And it's really scary because, yes, I'm singing this in Italian. Why is it in other languages? Well, it was written in other languages. We do have American operas, we do have English operas, Benjamin Britten and whatnot. So there's operas in lots of languages, but the classics tend to be Italian, French, German, because that's the heart of where the art form started. And when you translate, sometimes you lose something because the language is so integral with the music. That's one reason it's such a beautiful art form, because the composers set it with a purpose and a passion. So if you switch the language, you lose a little bit of the meaning, and it doesn't sound quite right. But I've done some beautiful translations, so you can do translations. But if your friends are like, oh my gosh, why is this opera in Russian? You can tell them, because it sounds beautiful in Russian and the words will be above the stage anyway. Almost every opera house does that. If they're doing an opera in another language, they will have the English above the stage or beside it, something.
Which is just like if you watch foreign films. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
And that's a great experience. So it's just live doing that.
That's scary to some people, and a lot of people actually don't know that they have the translation for you. They have the translation for you.
You should
Yay.
go.
Yeah, you should go. I'm trying to think. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about. So the classic form of opera involves recitative and arias. Well, what the heck does that mean? The recits are the dialogue, so that would be, I would say, "Oh, Sarah, this happened." And then, that's recit, so we tell the story, we move the action, and then I say, "And I felt this way about it." And I go on for about 5 minutes about how I felt. And that's an aria, and that's usually, that's a solo piece. So if you hear an opera singer doing a concert, she or he is doing a bunch of arias, which are just little excerpts from the opera. But again, the recit is the dialogue, which is pretty cool that opera is all sung.
Are there any vocabulary words or things
Okay.
in the opera world that would be helpful?
Oh, good question. So, aria, which you know now, is a solo, right? And it usually is reflecting on feel. It does not, per se, move the story, but it helps you understand the character better and what they're feeling and going through. And recitative, or recit, is the dialogue.
Are there certain characters that are always in operas that you notice?
There are often, I feel like Mozart there's always kind of, we call it a character role. So there'll be a character tenor or a character baritone. In this one, there is Musetto and Serlina are like the cute little, they're more like the peasants and they're funny. A lot of Mozart peasants are very smart and cunning, which is kind of fun. So there's character roles, there's, the lead soprano and the mezzo and the bass and the tenor and all that usual stuff.
Is there a good opera that if someone's never seen an opera, you would say, go see this one first?
I would say Carmen, because you will sit there and be like, oh my gosh, I know all of this music. You've heard it in Bugs Bunny cartoons, you've heard it in movie soundtracks. I mean, Carmen is probably, I think, one of the most well-known operas musically. The story is pretty dark. It's great, I love it. There's lots of deception and death. It's perfect. I mean, you gotta like that if you like opera.
Which, I mean, there's so much, like zombie films out, so here's...
That's right. Destruction and death. Yes. Love and passion. It's all, that's what opera is. It's just a big, passionate outburst of song. It's great. I would say Carmen. That's a good one, and it doesn't feel too long. A lot of operas can be pretty long. I like Magic Flute, but it's long. You have to study a little bit before you go, read the plot, read the history of when the composer was writing it, because they might have had some reasons for why they wrote it. There's a Verdi, the composer, was during kind of a revolutionary time, and some of the themes he wrote in his operas became themes for the people that were feeling suppressed. So there's a chorus, Val Pensiero, I believe, where it's these people that are in captivity sing it on stage, and then just the hearts of the Italians were like, this is us!
Yeah.
So it's good to know the pieces of history, like Magic Flute could have some things to do with the Masons and the rituals of that, and some tidbits.
So if you are thinking about taking friends to your opera or just going to see an opera for the first time, this is maybe some helpful things to share with them and resources. Or if you're thinking about how do I use this in my business or the arts that I'm creating, how do I even think about it? These are some helpful things that we hope helps you as you think through it. And remember, you can always follow us on YouTube and learn more of what we're doing in the business side of the performing arts and arts in general. You can find us on Twitter and on Facebook and at nik.org. Thanks.
Bye. Whoa. Okay. Is it too many though? Your feet don't touch. That's great. Okay, in our jungle.